We have notes?
We have notes. I even updated them.
Huh.
Excellent.
It's because I care.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Guess
Hi, Jiminy Tricks.
Hello.
It's me, Jiminy Tricks. I'm back. I've been gone for a while, and I am a little flustered because of a bunch of stuff that happened right before we were about to start the show, but I've decided to just pull the trigger, and that will force it all out. And I've been gone a minute, but I'm back. And
Are you?
I am going to
This sounds healthy.
On this day, I am going to tell you all about the Type 11. I'm assuming at this point I'm the only non-owner on the show today.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, so we can't wait to hear your opinions on it.
I promise to give you lots of my opinions.
Good.
Perfect. You'll be
In the
like
meantime,
there was a guy, one of the Ashling Angels guys was playing CQC for the first time the other day in their Discord and started preaching everything that he knew about CQC and how, there was, Musketeer. He's not all that good. He's just using an overpowered build. And I tried to explain to him there's no such thing as an overpowered build in CQC. And then he goes, well, I could see all the rookie mistakes he's making. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Then finally I said, you know what? You obviously know a lot more than me. I'll leave you to it. And I just backed out of the conversation because sometimes it's just not worth it because people love to talk about things that they know nothing about, like Jiminy Tricks and the Type 11. It's going to be awesome.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
Set the table.
Well, the table is set for this, the 2nd of October in the year 2025.
3311.
3311.
Yeah, it is the 403rd. It is the 304th episode of this Loose Screws podcast. There we go. I said all the things.
You did.
Yeah.
And you did them
Guys.
right.
Way better than I did last week. I hosted for my first time in a million years last week. So now it's funny that you're back doing it.
I didn't notice anything wrong.
I enjoyed it. It was a great show.
It'd been a while. Yeah, I don't know. I just rambled. There's either that or let Lark have the reins again. And yeah.
Wait, do you want to do that? Let Lark have the reins? I'm waiting for the Lark solo cast. I mean,
Lark take the wheel.
Yeah, Lark take the wheel.
Yep. Lark take the wheel. I am on board with that. The Ass Scout episode.
0 days.
Yep. Just name of the episode will be 0 days.
You came up with. We're just sort of launching in here. Tonight, I'm joined by Commander Chig.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. Commander Bloomingwind.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, I am. And Commander Roy Cookson.
Glad to be back.
Back again.
Roy Cookson, also known as the Morgan Freeman of our Discord. People always say they want Morgan Freeman narrating their lives. I want Roy Cookson narrating mine in his velvet tones.
Oh, thank you for your kind words.
Yeah, that's right.
I want Daxi.
God, no.
Some incredibly offensive British accent narrating my life.
My Lord. Well, yes, I think I've had 3 weeks off. I didn't really mean to, but I also just wasn't, I was uninspired to play Elite because the, I don't know, stuff that I felt like doing wasn't really going on, and tables or tides or something turned in PowerPlay, and I wasn't really feeling that for a few weeks now. And so I did other things, and lo and behold, my mission of creating a cast-based podcast has succeeded, and it just kind of goes on without me, and that's fantastic. And also welcome, Roy, because that's great. Appreciate you being a great addition to the speaking of. I'll
try to keep up the level of quality that we always expect.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm so sorry that my machine chewed the hell out of the music you tried to play. It's funny because when you brought that up in Discord, I hadn't gotten to the very end of the episode yet. So I heard like the part where you played the sounds, and they were they like,
Yeah, it was
mostly kind of
passable.
made it through.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm sorry.
Well,
I've talked about this before. I have these when I take the podcast recording, it records everybody's individual voice, and that way I can EQ everybody kind of specifically and make it sound just as nice as I can, as easy as I can. And I have these processors that are very, very good at making I mean, put as simply and perhaps crassly as possible, they're really good at making cheap mics or cheap recordings sound more expensive. And that's the whole name of the game. And basically, like I do this a lot for a living. I do podcast editing, and a lot of it is like remote recorded interviews with people who don't have proper microphones. And so this is one of the good things that kind of has come out of machine learning is I can kind of run it through these things and more or less tries to make them sound more like a studio microphone. But it does not like if you feed it something that isn't a voice. We'll try to get rid of that really hard.
Exhibit A.
Like,
Well,
I was
last
like,
week-
oh my God.
Last week we ended up putting the episode out one night late because Thursday
Yeah.
Discord was acting all kinds of goofy. So then we decided
Yeah.
to record on Friday, and there was something weird going on with Discord. We
There
could
was still
hear
something
it
weird. Yeah.
just garbling Roy. I had talked to Roy the night before that, and his microphone was always perfect, and he'd play sounds, and
Yep.
everything was fine.
Yep.
And then during
Yep.
the show, there was just this little static that, like when you got a loose wire or something, it just sounded
Mhm.
like something was loose through the whole show. And it's like, well, hopefully this gets through Trex's magic, beautifully. And I even gave you
Yeah.
the warning when I sent it over to you that I'm not sure. So
Yeah, I feel like it was a little jittery in a couple of spots and then seemed to calm down. At least what it sounded like after the processing. So hopefully it was okay. I felt it was okay anyway. That part of it.
I'd have to listen to our show once in a while to know. So I don't know.
I spot check, I listened to a few just random spots throughout the thing. I don't listen to the whole thing when I'm just to make sure the levels are right and everybody's EQ'd about correctly. And it was like, I heard a couple of things where it was just a little jittery, but when I listened to the whole thing, that was about the worst of it. There was like one little part where it got a little funny, but I could you could hear that something was happening. Like it's the internet buffering thing where you'd like speed up for a second and then slow down again. It's like, well, it tries to get everybody back in sync. Messy stuff. But anyway, so there's nothing new with me. I'm busy working and playing other games. What have you guys been up to? Anybody? I'm a professional person. Chig, go first.
There you go.
I've been playing the game a bit. I wasn't too excited about the whole, Type 11. Wasn't going to buy it, and then, I make that mistake occasionally, like looking on the forums and people talking about it. And just when you get such different opinions on stuff and people saying things that are just so vastly different from each other, I got to see what it's actually like. So I like people claiming it can mine this much or it does this, or, there's things. And well, I'm sure we'll be talking about this as, later on in the show. So I always have to then go try it out for myself. So then I did buy it, and I've been mining the last couple of days, a couple thousand in platinum just to give this thing a good shakedown. And yeah, I have some thoughts on it and stuff like that. In real life, yeah, a whole lot of, I don't know, same shit, different pile, I guess.
Different
Beautiful
pile.
man.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
What's next? Blooming Wind's next.
Yeah. So real life, we had a little tragedy befall the squadron's most beloved dog, Brick. So on Saturday night, Sunday morning, I had dozed off on the sofa. And, the dogs late at night like to chew like this thing called a bully stick.
I know what that is.
You know what that is. And so
What's a bully stick?
Yeah, it's a dog chew thing. It's like a bull dick.
It's a bull. It's made out of bull penis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I asked. Please continue.
Yeah, you are. But anyway,
His
so
wife
these are
has one too.
Yeah,
Oh,
these
Don't
are
worry,
old.
they dry them out.
Yeah, no, it's like a bully. It's from the. I'm not even getting into it, but so anyway, they have them, rolled out and pressed as sheets, and they're fibrous and chewy, and the dogs like them. And
Gross.
so, so anyway, so the one that I had was a little extra thick, and Brick kind of got sick of chewing it, so I gave
Sorry.
I gave the residual to Rocco, and he was kind of gnawing on it. And Brick just decided to get up off the sofa and wander over. I was dozing off at the time, and all I heard was this blood curdling scream from Brick, and it woke me up. And I couldn't see anything because it was pitch black. And I, grab him, turn the lights on, and I knew it was Rocco. Like did something to him, and I turned the light on, and he had his paw all retracted. And I'm like, holy shit, what did he do? And I'm like, his paw was tender, and I'm like, but the rest of him was fine, and
He
so I'm
didn't
like,
lose his other eye. That's my biggest
no, he did.
concern.
That was what
Yes,
I was
that's-
afraid of. I was afraid
Waiting
to
for
see
the
this
shoe
other
to
eye.
drop.
Yeah, I was waiting for the other eye to be hanging out, and it wasn't, because it was the exact same scream, according to my wife, that he had when he lost his eye.
Oh boy.
And so, which was that was a paw, Rocco going for a piece of chicken, and he missed and he got the eyeball. But this was like he actually bit Brick's paw. And so, and Rocco's always had some food protective issues, kind of thing. He's always been kind of funny about food, even since before we got him. I think he was like the runt of the litter or something, and they were competing for the same bowl. I don't know. Like, I don't know animal husbandry or anything. It was a good breeder. It wasn't like somebody who's like a psycho backyard breeder or whatever. But yeah, sometimes dogs can be
No,
a
they
little
get
funny.
that sometimes.
Yeah. And so, anyway, so I take him to the emergency room, and they had 2 puncture wounds. They had to irrigate them on his paw. He had a fracture of one of his metacarpals. They put a splint on him. And so, $1,300 later, I took him home, and I mean, it's just so expensive. Thank God we got pet insurance. So, it's going to, I'll get some of that back, not all of it, but I'll get some of it back. And so poor guy. And, so I bring him home, and the vet's like freaking out because he's got like a cardiac condition. He's like 13 years old, severe mitral regurgitation. And so she's like, I'm afraid anything we do. She's like, and she was like, we could do an orthopedic consult, because sometimes they like to pin those fractures. And I look at him, I was like, what orthopedist is going to touch him?
It's the mechanic doesn't want to open up this old car.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, you're going to they're going to anesthetize him, and he's not going to wake up. And then Brick looked at me like, oh, holy shit, what do you mean put me to sleep? What? What did you say? And I'm like, no. I mean, but he was like giving me this look when I'm like, yeah, no, he'd die on the table. Do not, I mean, I'm a cardiologist. I'm like, he is not cleared for surgery. We will just medically manage this. Anyway, so, so I bring him home and all that. And like Rocco's like completely like duly penitent, and he's still duly penitent. And anyway, so we called the vet on Sunday. I mean, we've been going to this vet for 24 years. So, I reached out to him because we're like, oh crap, our dog bit our other dog. And it's like my mind's racing. Is this a situation where we're going to have to rehome him, or we're going to put him to sleep, or all like the worst things? Because it's like, he knocked out an eye, he broke a paw. Like what the hell is he going to do next to this poor little 13-year-old cavalier? And Rocco's a good dog too. I mean, it's just, he's funny around food a little bit. And so, the vet calls it. He's like, dude, I got whippets. I've had great whippets. My youngest whippet is kind of funny the same way. You just have to be very intentional about, anything you're doing with food or treats, and being smart about it, and, working on doing things behaviorally with him. He's like, but we also probably need to put him on some puppy Prozac. So, we added some, I guess it's Buspar or whatever it is, or Buspirone or whatever, to Rocco, to kind of add as a mellowing agent or something. But it was just a whole thing, and that was a lot of, made the weekend a lot of fun. Yeah, at least the Eagles won, but so we had that going for us, which was nice.
Gross.
Yeah, and then in game, I haven't been on the podcast in a while. I built an outpost out in deep space. It's called Deep Skrew One. And it's one of a series of outposts that is going to be leading to a system with a platinum overlap. which is where I'm currently at mining platinum in my brand new T11. So for a couple of weeks, I was just kind of lost as to what I wanted to do, because it was like, I built this. Do I want to do some more hauling? Do I want to do some combat and get some bounties? Because the system that Deep Skrew One is in, I want to take control of before I start doing the rest of my colonization efforts so that we would be the lead faction without having to bump us up to the lead faction.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting a bunch of bounties and flying them out 500 light years is, not my idea of a good time. And I was just kind of, rudderless. And so now the T11 came out. Day it came out, I bought it. I built it, engineered it, and took it out to the platinums. And I've been platinum mining, and we'll talk about it during the review, but I've been having a blast. Last night I was with Jello Wiggler, and Psychoholic was on the chat, although he was somewhere else. And we just, wing mined and had a good old time, and, a couple of T11s just blowing up rocks. So that was that's what's been up for me in a nutshell.
Very cool.
Cool. All right.
Yes, I'm
all right.
next.
Yep, Roy.
Yes, so in game, let's see, over the weekend, was continuing to work on my Fred unlocking engineers. I had done the 5,000 light years out and back in the CG, but couldn't unlock Palin because I didn't have Marco Quent unlocked. So worked on that, got the Sirius rep up, went to the right system after some confusion and got the permit, finally got all that done. Got the unlock for Palin just in time to go buy a T11. So I've been out in the same system that Blooming Wind was referring to, having some fun there. We'll talk about that. And then I took a complete left turn last night. I'd been sort of out of the side of my eye watching the Other Games channel we have here in Discord. Some of the things that Lark, Shadow, and Teflon were getting into with a little game called RimWorld. And Teflon especially has a very similar, I've learned that the games he likes, I like. And so I
got it. Yeah.
now he does very different things in those games than I do.
So you never ate a Pope.
Never ate a Pope. but we're
Yet.
both into similar kind of strategy and survival and world building, sometimes real-time games, narrative games, the paradox type games. So and there's a sale going on right now on Steam, and so I started watching videos. I realized that once I was into 6 hours of videos, like this is over a few days, 6 hours of videos on RimWorld, and I was to the point where I was reading about biphasic sleep schedules. It was like, I think I should just buy this game and just start playing it. So I did, and last night the tutorial, and they've actually got a really nice tutorial that just sort of glides you right into your first playthrough. And then I looked up and 6 hours had gone by. So that's going to be competing for my time for sure. It's depending on the level of difficulty you choose, it can be a really. I was on like the second level, kind of newbie level, and it was very calming, just a lot of fun. You can obviously push it up to crazy stuff, and I think that's where Tef plays and does all kinds of crazy things in that game. But that was a lot of fun. In real life, so my wife's traveling right now. Visiting her mom, helping take care of some things like, let's just put it under the category of elder care, some cognitive decline things going on. So she's helping her brother figure that out. She's going to be there for a month. So I'm batching it for a month, which means I should have plenty of playtime. So that's an upside, I guess. What else? I'm continuing to write Roy's Stories, the musical. There's a second song, which some people in the Discord have heard as I've been testing it out. I was thinking of maybe saving it, though, for when Audaxius is back, because it's his character's song. It's like a solo that his character sings. So I'd love to get his like live reaction to it. So I'll just maybe plant that seed. But having a lot of fun with that. That's kind of. Oh, I would just say, I'm fighting off a bit of a head cold, so my voice might be a little more deep than normal. So apologies.
Giggity, giggity,
Apologies,
goo.
or you're welcome. I played the game you made.
Chig Chug.
Yeah, a few weeks ago now, but I
Oh,
haven't had a chance to chat to you about it. But I played through. I felt like I got a pretty respectable score. I don't really have a frame of reference for that though. But only after I shared a screenshot to Discord and like listened to some chatter for a couple more days, then I realized that I think you can, like, you have an attack in the game.
Yeah. So yes, you didn't know about the fondue lance.
I didn't know about the fondue lance. I was purely avoiding everybody and
my
just
goodness.
blasting through levels.
You did a passive playthrough then.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I didn't kill anything.
I didn't expect that.
So I don't know how that changes the game, but basically I would just get as much as I could and make sure I got all the bonus pieces that were on
Yep.
each screen. And then
Yep.
I would eventually, once I felt like things were getting too fast and too dangerous,
Yeah.
I would move on and
Yeah.
get to
Well-
whatever the exit tile is, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's some. I think there's been some upgrades since you played. Like you did. Did you see the Motretistet pickup
No.
for the Guardian phase torpedo that takes out Axios's docking computer?
No,
There's been
I
some
played before
updates.
that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to say it. Also, I saw that massive friend of the pod, Alec Turner, mentioned that he had played it, and he gave a good suggestion about having a global. I think this is what he was inferring, is like being able to have a global high score board. So I am going to work on that.
Yeah, like an arcade cabinet.
Yeah, like an arcade cabinet that'll tie across everyone's games. So
Right.
working on that, as well as some other, maybe a boss fight. I don't want to say too much about it, but it might have some bit resemblance to our welcome hall. So I'll just drop that hint and keep working on that.
Bad Bunny.
All right. Okay.
But thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. It's
Thank you for making it. That was it's wild, guys. And I know it's better now, but I was like, I got to the end, finally they finished me off, kind of thing, and it was like, oh wait, I have an attack. This is so stupid. But in the back of my mind, you know what it was? Is I thought, geez, my score seems pretty good because I'd seen a couple of the other scores go by, and I kind of was like, I got a way higher level than a lot of these people did. And it's because those chumps were getting way too close to the baddies by trying to attack them.
You have a good strategy there.
I just ignored them. Well, I didn't ignore them. Well, when you're playing passively, you learn how to dodge the Audaxious monster, right? So there's a bit of hysteresis or something, for lack of a better word, to the way it will come at you.
Yeah.
So, because
he picks a direction, then shoots, and he'll overshoot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can bait him pretty easily into overshooting, and so you're
That's
just sort
the
of
trick.
watching, and then change direction, and then he's gone. He's on the other side. But especially anyway, blah blah blah. Fun stuff. Anyway, what do we do here? What are we doing next? We
have segments if we want to do the segments.
We should cover our things, right?
Yeah.
I'm not in charge of the board today because Roy brought his robot in here first.
Yeah. All right. So we want to do the squad update next?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That we're doing? Okay, here we go.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
Alrighty. So, not a lot going on in Screwspace. We still have about 7 conflicts that are stuck pending, and one that has been 0 to 0 for like a week and a half or not 2 weeks. We are in 314 systems and control 78. For everybody who is doing the mining CG, V640 Cassiopeia is both in boom and public holiday. And what that means is that in that system, because it's a refinery system, they're buying core mined minerals for a very high price, some as high as 750,000 credits. So if while you're out there doing the mining CG, you do a little core mining today, you might be able to get there before the public holiday ends and can sell some core mine materials there. Anytime you ever see boom and public holiday, they're buying up minerals in those systems, generally speaking, at a great price. Musca Dark region, UE-WA3-0, is where Deep Skrew One is online. That is my outpost. And so what I'm looking for is folks with bounties they don't know what to do with for the Loose Screws network to fly 500 light years out there with them and drop them off there so we can get control of that system. Because once we get control of that system, I can continue my expansion to the platinum mining system that I'm at currently for the CG. So that's the squad update.
Nice.
Not a lot going on, but a few little things. And
But,
if anyone has any,
frankly, more than sometimes.
yeah, but if anyone has squadron activities, I think I'm trying to find a way to reinvent squadron orders, for lack of a better way to put it, because since BGS is completely broken at this point, there's no activity there to do. So we have our space, we have plenty of things we all like to do, and so any ideas for what we can do, what the squadron orders can be, I welcome them and put them in the Loose Screws channel in our Discord. And I'm very happy to have us have a discussion and we can figure out where to go, because I haven't even updated standing orders in about like a week because nothing's changed. So
Sure.
Now wait a minute. I disconnected from Discord there. Did I miss the squadron update? Can we have it
do you want it
go
again?
Yeah, can
No,
we?
you can listen to the recording.
Yeah. No, just a heads up. If I drop again, this is twice now. A week ago, Spectrum said that they were upgrading our service in the area and expect intermittent outages, over the course of this week. And it's, I don't know, 5-10 times a day, internet just drops.
For just a minute or so.
Yeah, yep, and that's just it. So, but I've seen the trucks around, so I think they're just replacing all the nodes. I think they're replacing every one because they've been on every random pole, on different corners in the area. So I think that they are like, okay, let's do this one, and they just try to yank it out and put it back in, and it kills the internet for a little bit. And it's been very annoying. You're watching a movie and it's all of a sudden you're buffering, or like Discord there, it just drops. And I don't know it until people don't answer me. I'm like, oh, I'm not here. And then Discord, disconnects. So
that sucks.
just a heads up. So if I just all of a sudden stop talking, just carry on. If it happens again, I'll just back out. Maybe we're done for the night with the drops, but who knows?
You came back quick.
Yeah, you're like the new Nurgle.
Oh God. Like a young Nurgle?
You're like the new Nurgle.
Thanks, man.
Young. Thanks, man.
Anyway, so in that case, is there a PowerPlay update?
Yeah, there's a PowerPlay update. I updated that because our friend Kruger5 did his thing, and so I cut and pasted it like a plagiarist.
All right,
well, I'm giving him credit, so it's not really like a plagiarist.
Let's do the short PP report.
Yeah.
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
Ashling has 25 new systems. What?
Yep. People love feet. What can I tell you?
Shocked.
Who's doing this?
You just
Should I
started.
keep reading? I did.
It's you. You started it.
Liang with +3 strongholds, baby. And +16 overall for the strongest week. Wow.
Sounds like an oxymoron.
And
the strongest week. The weakest strong.
That's a week that I didn't play at all. The closest I came to playing Elite while Liang Ri was having his strongest week was when I tried to instance with Colin and Ben at Lave Radio when they played CQC instead of doing a podcast, and failed.
Shocking.
They failed to CQC or they failed to make a podcast?
Well, they didn't. They declined to make a podcast and played CQC instead. And I heard wind of that. And so I hopped on and tried to join up. And at one point I saw their names in the list. But then that lobby broke. And that was it. That was the last time I ever saw that crew. Oh, well. But anyway.
Yeah, sounds like CQC.
Sounds like I'm not important to PowerPlay. Torval in third for adding systems this week. Okay, so I'm parsing what's been written here.
Yes.
They're not in third. They've just added the third most systems with 10.
Yeah, so this is all the new system numbers and things.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
The deltas.
The deltas.
The delta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Patreus continues to slide, losing 5. 34 since cycle 45. So 34 systems in 3 weeks down. Delaine takes the biggest hit, losing a stronghold and a fortified. So yeah, we're still rolling in the sort of comparative value of these systems too, which obviously is very important. And Antal appears to be deploying the battery to keep Kane behind on the FDev board, but she's still in the mirror. All right. I'm not going to click on a link and show a thing. That sounds good.
Yeah. No, I think the thing with PowerPlay is that all of our efforts that we've had lately have been stymied because like the undermining is not as strong. There's not a good way to undermine.
Yeah.
And so if you actually want to strike at the heart of another power's stuff, it's so hard unless they're not paying attention or they don't care or whatever for you to actually do anything because reinforcing is incredibly easy to do relative to, and if you don't want stasis, they need to kind of rejigger the numbers or figure out how to fix some of the undermining activities that are off the table so that they're balanced, but, available, because I mean, it was ridiculous what was going on when you were seeing these massive, nuclear bombs of undermining go on, but it should be a competition at the end of the day. And, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've done a good job of, I mean, this is exactly why I haven't been playing Elite. It's because what I was doing lately was PowerPlay, and our efforts in PowerPlay are, well, it's not that there's nothing to do, but I'm also like kind of filtering it through, but what's fun for me to do? What do I like to do? And the things that they changed to sort of balance, undermining versus reinforcing, the shift to how much merits you earn as a way of encouragement is right. Like that's definitely like a step in the right direction. And it sort of looks like on paper, they've probably got the numbers in a pretty good spot. The issue is they didn't fix the activities imbalance.
Yeah.
Because it sort of means like, so I'm mostly concentrating on combat. Undermining is ridiculous. Like it's don't even consider it. It's like just take it off the table. It's so bad. You really have to not care about results at all. And
do you mean balance of activities that you like, or across the powers?
I don't believe I don't think the differences in powers really matter very much. I mean, I'm sure they make a % difference, but I just mean like in general, like if you're trying to undermine by combat, it's bad because the things you have to the only things you can do are commit crimes or get power kills, and commit crimes just means murder. I don't know why they don't say murder because that's what they mean. There's plenty of crimes in this game that aren't murder, but none of those count. All of the one way around was the on foot data materials.
Yeah,
that was actually a decent way to undermine and kind of fun, a fun change of pace for somebody like me who doesn't do on foot very much. That's gone because we can't have nice things, and some people, were exploiting it. And Frontier hasn't put it back in. So either hasn't figured out how to fix the exploit, or it wasn't an exploit, it's just badly designed and they haven't changed it. So kind of at this point, it's been several weeks, kind of expecting it to go the way of escape pods, that eventually when they think we've all forgotten about it, they just go, oh yeah, and finish deleting it from the game, Except cough, cough, escape pods are still showing up in the weekly assignments, you idiots.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so there's basically nothing to do for undermining that's worthwhile, except the most valuable thing ends up being like low value trade, which is super weird, although it's fairly consistent. So there's that.
So
It's not really,
tedious.
it's tedious. It's not really, I mean, it's not my game. If you're a hauler, then that might be something that you could really get behind, and maybe that's the one place that undermining could work. Mining, interestingly enough, can be effective, but it's extremely circumstantial because mined goods only count if you're in the system that you're trying to
Oh, right.
influence.
Yeah.
So the thing we happen to be trying to do with PowerPlay as our group, mining wasn't going to work for those systems. So it's okay, great. So there's basically nothing that we can even hope to approach their fortification abilities with, because it's weak, and it shuffles all around. So if I'm concentrating, my head is concentrated on combat, so I'm always sort of comparing this, but like acquisition, halfway decent, a little bit circumstantial, because if there are installations that you can bounty hunt at and stuff like that, you can do a pretty good job. And then eventually you push into a conflict. If you get that going, then we've got power conflict zones, which are working now, and we're good to go, right? But if it's a system that doesn't have installations, like regular old bounty hunting for the sake of merits is rough. Just has-res, it's just, it's slow, they don't pay very much, it's hard, there's not a steady stream. It's really only worthwhile bounty hunting if you can get these pirate attack scenarios going. And to do that, we would need a working BGS to be able to create those reliably, even if they do, one of the systems we were working in, it had 3 installations or megaships, but none of them were throwing scenarios because they were all not owned by the controlling faction for some reason, which I assume is a BGS error, because I thought the controlling faction was always supposed to control megaships.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a system that Loose Screws was the controlling faction of. All 3 were controlled by other factions. All 3 installations, or 2 installations and a megaship, were under the command of a different faction. So that means, like, I don't know, either we're showing as in control in error, or the station's controls are in error. I don't know, but it's so it's all messy. And what else? I mean, power kills. I kind of feel like now I'm really on a rant, guys. I kind of feel like the power play signals were meant to be the thing that made all of the different activities even, because they contain salvage, they contain combat if you want them to, but they don't have to, and all this stuff. But systems tend to spawn like 3 or maybe 4 of those power signals, and then it's used up. And I don't know how long it takes them to respawn, if it's on like a 30-minute timer, like the commodities, the power play transportation commodities are. That's too long. You can't like keep going. You can only like do it for a second, and then you've got to basically switch activities. And it's not good. It's just very not good.
I just think there needs to be more, like, I mean, I think a lot of us, enjoy combat. I mean, not everyone in the game does, but I mean, a lot of us, especially in our squadron, enjoy combat. And if there was a way that, whether you're undermining or acquiring or reinforcing, there was equal opportunities to deploy hard points, I think we would be a much happier squadron with trying to manipulate power play. Because I mean, there's only so much bio waste I can haul. And it's like, and other people, it's like, okay, guys, we really need to do this type of thing to get this system where we want it to be. And it's like, okay, none of us want to do that activity. How many of us want to haul rares?
Right.
How many of us, it's like, it's just not what we like to do. I mean, more power to my friends.
Rares. Yeah. Rares doesn't work for undermining.
Right.
That's it. It just absolutely doesn't work. Like what? So here's the thing where there's no like 2 ways about it. It's not like, whatever. I don't. You understand what I mean? It's like you can fortify with rares, you can acquire with rares. You can't undermine. Why?
Because you would think if like you got a bunch of kale eaters, and old Blooming Winds rolling in with 100 cases of indie bourbon from courtesy of Lee Young Rui, his frat brother, you'd think that the system would be really excited. I mean, lore-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey, I
if
brought
you're
the bourbon.
right, if you're trying to tie it to lore, it's like, okay, so as an underminer, I'm trying to destabilize. So what am I doing? I'm committing crimes, I guess. So, but it's only when only murder. If I do other crimes or other things that and you can do low value trade. So I guess that's supposed to be like bad for the market. How come actions that are I don't know what, positive actions that would be, you could say would be good for the system, aren't somehow influencing the population of the system? That, hey, this Leon Ree seems all right. I mean, look, his people are here and they're,
It's like
I don't
selling
know.
Levi's into Russia. Like that should work.
Yeah, bringing booze and
Yeah.
guns.
And it seems like the whole proposition is it's supposed to be, maybe there's some variation about how things work, but it's supposed to be sort of whatever you like to do in the game, you can do it for the sake of power play, and it'll generally work. So it's, how come it isn't just like what work I do in this system, if my power doesn't control it, then I'm undermining, and if my power does control it, I'm reinforcing. I don't know. I guess I'm that's probably too simple, and it wouldn't be good game design. But just to take whole things off the table, like rares just straight up don't work.
I mean,
Combat,
wasn't that
there's
the
just no
original
combat
narrative?
opportunities. I mean, I
Wasn't that
thought
the
it
original
was.
narrative? that you just go about your day, do your things, and it'll all count somehow for your power.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound like it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's just, anyway, there's
If you're doing
just
more
not enough going
stuff.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if they fix some of those power spawning, the power, signal sources.
signals.
I mean, yeah, so you can do some of these things more often, like more things where you can go and kill a bunch of enemy ships, things where
Yeah.
you can, that's where the salvage and all that. But if they spawn more frequently, if they're more plentiful, I mean, yeah, that would be a nice, easier way for them to kind of fix it, so that we'd have a little bit more levers to
Right.
push and pull.
I
Because they
mean,
don't, because power
this-
ships don't spawn in like a Hazres. Like I have like 1 or 2 out of 20 ships that I
extremely
kill.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to go to the nav beacon where you can get them to spawn, not at a great rate, but they do show up. But it's really difficult for undermining because you're only going to get merits in useful amounts if the power ships that spawn are for the controlling power.
Right.
And it's more or less random which power they're from. So when you're in there, you're not getting 100% of them, like at the nav beacon, like just trolling for power ships, whereas conversely, if you are reinforcing, if you control the system and you go to your nav beacon, every power ship you see, except the ones that are your own power, are fair game, and you get paid handsomely for killing them. And these are like paper thin transport ships, right? With little Eagle escorts that are like competent ranked. So they just fall right over when you shoot them. So basically, we don't have that for undermining, but the players who are trying to reinforce against me have the easiest time in the world. Like nothing is easier than reinforcing combat. It's better than acquisition even.
Yeah.
So it's like super imbalanced from that perspective. It happens that we're going against Archer in one of these systems who gets a combat bonus that we don't get. I don't think that's a huge difference, but like when you're up against both of these discrepancies, the one I'm complaining about is a lot bigger, but that's all I have. I don't know. I've got no way to contradict that, and I don't know. It kind of feels like that they've moved on. Now we're getting around to finally fixing some of the colonization bugs. Oh wow! I just got a reckless flying fine because this guy in a Mandalay decided to rocket right into me.
Yeah.
Should I kill him?
Kill him.
He's wanted.
Kill him hard.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Give you a
He's
fine.
trying to crash into me again.
He's trying to crash into you in a Mandalay? Oh.
It's an Archon Delaine player. The station's shooting at him. I'm not even going to have to kill him.
But you want to tag him so you get some merits or something.
Yeah, he's definitely attacking me. Oh. All right, we're gonna go hang out by the station anyway.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, that's fine, right?
Yeah, so that's our PowerPlay update.
That's our PowerPlay update.
That's our PowerPlay update.
It took distracting me to end this conversation.
That was an extended nap for Chig.
Yeah. That's the spirit, Chig.
Yeah.
Well, I've told you, like, BGS and PowerPlay just aren't my jam because they're too close to politics, and that's what and I'm deep into for a living in real life. So I my escape is not going to be worrying about pulling levers like that for that. I'll go kill stuff for you guys, or if there's some hauling that needs to be done that'll help, just tell me. I'll go do a bit of it for you, but I just can't bring myself to pay attention to it enough to care, because I'm obsessive when I do pay attention to things, so I can't do it.
Fair. I can't do it either. I haven't played for 3 weeks. So
But I mean,
the things I was just complaining about.
Yeah, literally, that's the whole thing about this game. Everybody, it's a sandbox. You take that's just another, set of rules and stuff that you can play that game within the sandbox. So somebody else can go, PvP guys set up their own little rules and go fight each other. Then you've got asshole gankers that they just hunt people. It is what it is. You just find the fun where you want it, and don't get mad at other people because of their fun, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's where when
Well
you get
said.
lost in the game is sort of when, some of the things that give you your little dopamine hits, the levers you like to pull to, the things that you find fun, if they're not working correctly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, okay,
like CQC for
like
instance.
CQC, like BGS,
Yep.
just more the Sisyphusian tasks of trying to do something meaningful in PowerPlay. So there's a lot of things you can do in PowerPlay, and you could say, okay, well, what is the Lee Young Rui people doing? I'm going to link up with them. But, as a squadron, we kind of have a little bit of emotional attachment, or at least I do, to Screwspace. And it's just sort of, PowerPlay 2.0 in Screwspace is sort of the new BGS in Screwspace. And so, lately there's a couple things we wanted to do, and they've been kind of an uphill climb, and it's like, well, yeah, it'd be nice to have acquired the system so then we can reinforce it. And then it's just like, we got beat, and it's okay to get beat. It's a game, but it was just like, because it was kind of soul crushing, because we were like, hey guys, do you want to try to cause us to help us to spawn some power CZs? And they're like, okay, sure. And then we're doing the power CZs, and then we're like way ahead of, the other guys. And then like we wake up the next morning, it's like, holy shit, how many merds did they drop while we were all sleeping? Like, fuck.
They swooped in.
So then we're like, hey, let's try to get it back. And it was so hard that we couldn't do it. It's like, we can't, like the advantage of reinforcement versus, as we just discussed, is like, it kind of sucks the joy out of it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to build a colony. So I went and built a colony, and then some CGs happened that were fun. And, the CGs have been fun. So, I can find stuff to do for sure. But like I said, sometimes you get that mood where it's like, you haven't played for 3 weeks, and you're like, because I'm rudderless, and it's like, I don't know what I want to do in the game today.
Right. Yeah. That is kind of what it came down to. It's like, I'm not, okay. This is going to be, we're going to sort of bend this into a slow segue. I would I would go have fun doing some mining right now, but I'm not, this isn't enough of my interest to be early access buy for me. So like, I'm not going to go, like, I don't care about this CG at all. And I'm not really, what would be fun about it would be to try out a new ship and a new tool, right? And to do the thing that I would need early access for. So I don't really care about, I'm not going to try to chase it with a different mining ship, because I don't care. So, but I would like go, oh yes, I haven't blown up a core rock in ages. I don't find laser mining to be interesting at all. And it just makes me sit there and sort of muse about how differently I would have designed this part of the game.
That the Type 11's interesting in that facet,
Yeah.
as far as laser mining, because if you're not careful with that with that new cannon they've got, you destroy limpets and you destroy the new chunks.
Yeah.
So
It is,
Oh,
it is more
really?
dynamic.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's got some more dynamism to it for sure.
yeah, so I actually find myself, yeah, you can try to get in a good position where the chunks fly off and you don't shoot them, but yeah, on a moving rock and everything else, I
Yeah.
funner just to kind of loop around the asteroid, and just kind of be shooting, making sure I'm not hitting the new chunks or the new limpets.
Mhm.
And it makes laser mining actually a lot more dynamic. And on top of that, the new bigger chunks that fly off, if you're not paying attention and you fly into them, they do damage to you. So
Huh.
you can
So
actually
are-
start beating yourself
Are
up.
those like abrasion blast? They describe them as being chunks that you would get from core mining.
They're like
But-
chunks that you get from abrasion mining. They're similar.
yeah.
They're visually different. They're bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
what
yeah.
happens is,
Large and
you
spiky.
have this new repeater, and so you're firing the new volley device, and you have your typical little bits that come off the asteroid, but you have these giant chunks coming off the asteroid, and it's like, how the fuck's my limpet going to grab that? And you get this like itty bitty limpet like grabbing this
It's
giant
like
ass
an ant.
rock. It's like an ant carrying like a marble, and it's like holy shit. But
There's a lot
it's
of them,
kind of
too.
cool. But yeah, it's like when you first start doing it, it's like I'm burning half my limpets. Now, between being in a platinum overlap and, these chunks being worth so much and the squadron perk of having the mining beef up and all that,
The
it's
squadron
like,
perk that every squadron in the galaxy has right now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That one as, what results is, and it's like, I ended up, dumping half my limpets anyway, even though as I was shooting it, but yeah, there was a learning curve, and it was fun having a learning curve saying, okay, I got to move around the asteroid as I'm shooting so I don't destroy all this stuff that I'm harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about it being kind of a new game. It's kind of a new game. It's a little bit, it's still you're shooting rocks and getting stuff, but
That doesn't excuse new type of mining.
I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't,
Look,
but anyway,
it's not as revolutionary as SCO Overdrive.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
Everyone's
is.
turn it on and
interesting, though.
forget it.
Oh, go ahead, Roy.
This
ahead.
forces you to pay attention a bit more, and it's a bit more engaging.
Okay.
100%. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, a lot of people are like the new mining tools, the big, I don't know, that 14 limpet controller is pretty fucking insane. I'm telling you, that is,
Yeah.
that to me is the new thing, that because you can always just stack a handful of lasers on, because this
Right.
new repeater still strips I mean, at 2 pips, I strip an entire asteroid without emptying my distributor, and then I'm still waiting for the limpets to hoover everything.
So there's
Yeah, the
no
limpets
need
are
for
the
a
gauge.
laser.
No,
No,
There's
a
no
laser
need
wouldn't
for,
give
there's
you
no
the
need for a
extra.
laser. No.
there's
Well,
no
the
need
laser
for
wouldn't give you
multiple
the extra
mining
bits,
ships
too.
anymore.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Right,
get the
'cause-
extra bits coming out.
They'd be small chunks exclusively, so you'd
Mhm.
slow yourself. You'd actually you'd reduce your overall yield. besides slowing
Yeah.
yourself down.
Yes, and this ship, though, you can set up for every type of mining at the same time. And you
Yeah.
never have to, you can just go do them all at the same time. Or I'm laser mining with the core mining stuff on my ship, but I'm not bothering to do it. I even have a pulse wave. My
That's
ship
what I
can
was
do
going to ask.
everything.
Yeah.
And I put a stopwatch to it earlier. I went out with 65 limpets, because these limpets don't expire like other limpets do. It's only if you accidentally shoot them. Went out with 65 limpets, filled all 287 cargo in 33 minutes. That's how
Yeah.
fast
Wow.
you can do it. It is
Wow.
it's insane.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of following my limpets as they're collecting stuff, because how the stuff gets a little bit spread out. So I'm kind of helping the limpets collect faster.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, 30 minutes to get almost 300 chunks.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it was
Yeah.
like about 45 minutes or so. I mean, I do have a couple of lasers on mine too, and maybe that was slowing me down, what have you. But it was, but it was just also I get distracted and have other things like I have to deal with, like letting the dogs out 500 times and all that. But yeah, it was like about 45 minutes. And then last night I was with Jello, and, he was like, hey, let me join you. And by the time he got to me, I was already halfway filled my hull, and then we finished up pretty quick. Getting it done. So, I mean, it is a time saver. I mean, and I think that, people talk about power creep in the game with the new ships and all that. I find that a lot of the ships, for whatever activity you're doing, they're time savers. The SCO drive is a time saver. The way that this new new mining
get to the
stuff
fun
is,
faster, right?
yeah, get to the fun faster. And it's like the combat, like if you have these ships that all have like an extra hard point or whatever, you can do more damage quicker. And so when you're having, a big old PvP fight, you guys can kill each other faster. You can get those prismatic shields down a little bit faster. Because I can tell you, there was times where I've been doing PvP and it was like taking a while to whittle each other down. And you've heard of these combat stories where two people are like going after each other and it's like an hour and their shields are not down. A little bit of this power creep, and it's like, okay, maybe you'll get the shields down on each other a little bit faster. Maybe you'll, and it just, I'm getting older. I don't have as much free time as I did a year ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Let me have as much concentrated fun as much a short time as possible. And this sort of power creep to me has been a time saver, with all of these things. And so, like, I know, people are saying, well, it's making the old ships obsolete. You can still use your old ship. Nothing bad's going to happen, but,
Obsolete's a funny word, right? Because the old ships all work as good as they used to. But I don't fly any of them. Absolutely not.
And
They're all gone, right? I mean, I have a few of them in storage, but these are more fun. And if I go moving cargo one day, that's going to be the day that I'd buy a Type 8 or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to go outfit a Type 7 or a Python 1 or something like that. No, of course not.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the power creep. Absolutely.
But once again, it's a sandbox. These are just some new toys. Like I made the analogy of shovels. If the new shovel makes digging too fast and boring for you, don't use them. If you like it, dig away. And then when you get bored with that, go back to the old ships. They're still in the game. You just it's options.
Okay. Now on that thread, let me hit you with this, and then you guys tell me, talk me down, or explain to me how I'm wrong. As a enthusiastic shipbuilder or a shipbuilding enthusiast, the Type 11, I'm trying to reserve my judgment here, and I haven't bought it, but it sure seems like it's very uninteresting.
Yes.
Now, obviously, it's the best miner, but like all of this, it's like it's very restricted how it's built. It really is only going to be for this one thing, and what they've put in the game doesn't add any mining power to any other ship, probably intentionally. What do we think of that? Because that's not very sandboxy, right?
I think you need to have a conversation with Single Malt Scotty and Commander NC Badger, because they can tell you about other alternative uses for the T11 that are not not for mining.
So to fill in, Scotty took his first flight in the Type 11. His first flight his shakedown flight in the Type 11 was killing a Medusa. Great job.
Yep.
Cheers, mate. Obviously, and somebody had done Meccan or somebody else had done a Hydra within a few hours. Yeah. But I mean, that's what he does. New ship comes out, kills Hydra. That's what he does. I'm not saying it can't, but none of those people would say those are a great new Thargoid ship. That's not what was being said either.
Here's where you have it, Trax, is it has the non-mining hardpoint slots on it, which you're never going to put a mining tool in. I'm telling you, it would be utterly
of
pointless.
Course. Yeah.
So this thing can be fully, and I have killed pirates with it super easily, and that fighter bay in it, so it's one that you don't have to go through as much rigmarole to make it pirate safe You can actually fight them off, and it is a surprisingly nimble ship. I'm shocked by how fast this thing turns. I would call it twitchy, very twitchy.
Scotty
And
did.
it can definitely defend itself. I put those pre-engineered frags on it, and I think it's got a beam
Take me
laser.
through the hard points again. The non-mining hard points.
Yeah, I think it's what.
1, 2, and 2 and 3. One size
2, and 3
2
ones.
and 3 size 1s.
And then a fighter bay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your typical NPC pirate, you're gonna just eat their lunch.
So you can and you're not running these things at the same time, right? Because you're mining stuffs in a different fire group. So it's not like the thing's gonna run out of distributor. You've sort of got 2 pages. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, unless you use all of your mining hard points for mining lances, and then you could use them as fixed beams.
You could put those in the thing too, and then you wouldn't have enough distributor to go around. So
who would do that?
What kind of monster?
Lark Shadow, are you here? Good God.
As a fellow shipbuilding enthusiast, I would say a couple things about this. One, the ship kind of builds itself if you're just going and doing the laser mining thing. There's some obvious choices. I would say to go to these other, I'm not going to call them meme builds, just edge builds. It's actually a slightly harder challenge, I think, which is the fun, I think, to a degree in shipbuilding, is the constraints you work against. It was, I think when this thing first came out, Commander NC Badger reported it can get to around 70 light years max. So it could be used as an explorer, and it's got excellent visibility out of that cockpit.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That would be
I think
great.
It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, for headcanon, there's all kinds of reasons to fly it for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If I was really stretching, I might say, and we tried to touch on this last week, and I think Ed Skill corrected me or came up with a better idea that you observed as well about how you could use these in a team, where you'd mine with this and you'd keep dumping your cargo and have a Panther Clipper pick it up. So that in that case, maybe the shipbuilding extends to pairs of ships that you would design to work together, which obviously we haven't done a lot of. So maybe there's that.
So the type of the prospector, the Type 11 would have the refinery on board.
Yep.
It would have it would be the refinery, and it would have a very small cargo set, 32 or 64 or something, and just keep dumping them back out, and the clippers just hoover them up like farm equipment.
Yeah,
what you would do is you would just have the mining ship have, basically a prospector, and it's shooting. The Panther Clipper would also shoot to double your fragment capacity off of any given asteroid, and then the Panther Clipper is hoovering up everything through its refinery.
Well, there you go. You've just set up something to test, right? Like that's intriguing.
Right, which
of
is
those
better.
2 scenarios is better. Yeah.
But I mean, just with what's his name and I bellowed last night. I mean, I was already out of limpets, and he needed a few more. So what I did was I tagged his prospector limpet, and I went to town on those asteroids, and he got his last fragments he needed to fill up his ship, like 2 asteroids. Because because between the 2 of us, we were able to double the fragments for him, and I wasn't collecting anything because I was all out of limpets. And and I wasn't the one doing the prospector, so so there's ways of tag teaming it to get you get a Panther Clipper, and if you had a bigger wing of like 4 and you were really organized about it, you could really clean up. And it's just a matter of, I don't know what ways you share the wealth of,
right?
But we have a squadron bank, so ultimately you could sell everything, and then you get the credits, and you pass the credits along.
It's easier to ratio the credits out.
Yeah, it's just 250. You do $1 billion in mining, and you divide it up 4 ways, 250 million credits each person, and there you are. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do to coordinate with your friends, I think.
That is interesting. Yeah, I do find that kind of compelling about how, because the restricted slots had me feeling funny, right? But it sounds like they have managed to create a ship that you can do different things with, and almost more, I mean, different. Reserving judgment, definitely, at the very least. I'm also wondering about, oh God, I'm like losing how I wanted to phrase this. The, okay, the thing that I guess it's a bummer to me that the new type of mining, I don't know how much of this was because they shouldn't shouldn't have fucking hyped that and put that idea in my head. But I like to think I would have kind of come to this on my own anyway, and I'm not that susceptible to hype, but whatever. The idea that basically they just spiked mining, laser mining, so much that even though this thing has the capability of doing abrasion blasting, so it's sort of this combined tool that would be so great, you wouldn't need any of these other things. It replaces two things and does them better. You still don't blow up rocks, and if you're going for good, uh, if you're trying to make good time, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word. So I guess it's a bummer to me that it feels like lazy, just taking what's the easiest thing. We'll just turn up the yield knob, basically. We'll turn up the yield knob on mining instead of actually thinking of some new thing that would be a
Yeah.
new kind, or buffing the other things as well.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with core mining is awesome. And I think the subsurface is pretty fun too, although I think I'm in even more of a minority there in
I like that
liking
too.
that.
Subsurface is fun. Yeah.
I think it's a fun little
Yeah.
game. But the lean away from it was so hard because it was basically a market correction, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the backup of being something you can do in a wing either. So having some kind of change to the game, really, I feel like some good thought should have gone into trying to make that work, right? Because like Bloom is saying, wing mining with a laser, you get more production for everybody. It's not just doing it together is fun. It's actually improved for all involved. Core mining, strictly the opposite, right? It does not work the same way at all. It doesn't generate more chunks. You don't find more rocks. There could be any way of making this sort of produce more if you happen to be in a wing, even if it's just gamey, mechanics stuff that doesn't follow real world. That would be fine. But none of that has happened. And the response to, like, when core mining first came out in that huge void opal gold rush, the response to that was some mechanical changes that Nurgle was talking about, and I don't know enough about it to be able to repeat it here, but they made a bunch of sort of under the hood changes to how hotspots work and all kinds of things like that.
It was
And
when
adjusted-
Tritium. It was when Tritium came.
Oh, so that was
And
from
that-
Tritium. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and when they introduced Tritium for the fleet carriers, that did a lot to mess up core mining.
Okay, because they
Because-
wanted to control the rate of tritium and the
Yeah.
value of tritium, and they screwed it. Well, they had already, though, kind of nerfed the market for
Yeah, they
some of
did.
those really high, like when void opals were like over $1 million a pop.
Yeah.
Or were they almost 2 million a pop on certain markets
They
at certain
could be.
times?
Like, I mean, I think if you had your public holiday and boom state,
Yeah.
it would go up super stupid high.
But
Which is fine.
those kinds of numbers were needed, though, to make hunting for these rocks and taking the time to get the stuff worthwhile. And so that was balanced, and never having revisited that to try to bring that back into stasis, this would have been a great time to friggin' do that. Which is such a shame, because it's basically this major set piece that they created many, many years ago now, that it's gone. I mean, it's still there, but anybody who's seriously mining isn't doing that. And this update says to me that they are A-okay with that. More of the same, please, is basically what they've done. So that's what I see as kind of the yucky undertone to all of this. Like, I'm glad it's such a cool ship, but
I have something
nail
to
in
offer
the
that
coffin,
might
maybe.
might
Okay.
mitigate your take on
Please.
it being just turning the knobs on laser mining. Let's phrase it that way. I was thinking today about why I was having fun when I flew that ship this week, and what I finally came down to was I like it because it's fun to shoot the gun, and it's fun to shoot the gun. So hang with me here. Here's what it reminded me of. I have this memory of I was probably around 10, and I was helping my dad out in the yard, and one of the funnest things was when I got to run the garden hose. And and he's trying to do some stuff, and I'm spraying this thing up and down and everywhere. I'm trying to find the angle and see how far it'll go, and shooting this arc down the driveway. And he'd like holler, get my attention. Like it had that kind of a feel where I'm painting on the rock with this thing, and it has a physicality to it. It's not just a static, like there's the beam and it's making a noise. It has like a It almost reminded me a bit of one of the reasons why Destiny and Destiny 2, in my opinion, were such good shooters. And I'm not the only one with this opinion, but the gunplay between the feel of the guns, like with a scout rifle or a hand cannon, the viscerality of it, if that's a word, they really got something right there. And here with this, between FDev, their excellent audio stuff, and the sort of physicality feel of shooting this gun, and the physics of how it hits, and the fact that sometimes it's gonna shoot the limpets and shoot the rocks, and there's a bit of, it's almost like a little mini game, but there's a feeling of, there's a visceralness to it that I found myself just like, I'm the kid shooting the hose down the driveway and playing with it. Like it was fun. It was fun. It had like this really simple joy to it, which was for me categorically different than just holding the trigger and shooting lasers.
Yeah, and the ship flies beautifully. I mean, it is. I mean, everyone calls it twitchy, but it's like, I've been mining in a Panther Clipper and a T10. So, compared to those, cinder blocks, this ship moves, so beautifully, and the view is gorgeous. It's just absolutely beautiful from it. So, I mean, like I built a Panther Clipper miner, and I hate it because I can't see out of it. There's the view is terrible. I'm bumping into rocks, and all this other kind of stuff, because the entire bottom half of the screen is my control panel. So, I was like, yeah, I built it, but it's kind of sucks. And I'll be more than happy to use it, winging up with other people if they want to use their T11s to do a wing mining session. But and I'll be the Hoover or whatever. But and I will pay you back through the Squadron Bank, I promise. If we do that. But yeah, I'm not going to keep the billion credits to myself. But yeah, I just think that that this ship is a really nicely well done, handles lovely kind of ship, and yeah, the gun's cool. I mean, the gun's really cool, and you can, when you turn to look at it while it's shooting, and it's like doing its little thing. I'm like, yeah. I mean, there was a Gatling game, video game. If we're going to talk about core memories. And this Gatling game, video game, it wasn't even really a video game. It was pre-video. It was mechanical. And when we go to the beach, there was an arcade next door to the condo we'd stay at, and we would rent. And they had this Gatling gun game, and I was like, I loved playing this Gatling gun game, and the gun shoots like that. So, yeah,
Chig, I asked them to make me feel better about the fact that this is just reinforcing and turning up the knobs on laser mining that already existed, further nailing the coffin of core mining as never being revisited or never having the market forces bring it back into validity. What do you think?
Oh man, I love core mining. I mean, that's one of the first things I really fell in love with in this game. And I all they have to do is, like you said earlier, just make void opals valuable again, and people will go and core mine. But this ship would be very, very
it would be good at it, right?
Very good at it. Very, with how nimble it is and everything. But I mean, I've core mined in a fucking cutter, so you could do it in anything. But this would be a lot of fun to zip in and do everything. I think I put a regular abrasion blaster on this, but I haven't gone after a core yet or anything, because I'm not sure about this thing, with the way that it's destroying the bigger chunks that come off. I don't know if it'll blow up the chunks, the abrasion chunks.
Can you
Yeah,
like one
it's a
tap
risk.
with it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that
it's not that
I mean,
accurate. You kind of have to
yeah,
spray it a
it
bit.
really isn't. It is kind of it's kind of scattershot, and but I don't know. I'm with you. Core mining is so awesome. The sound of it, the action of going through it, getting the yield on all your charges just right, and it's an amazing game.
Oh yeah, I
loop.
forgot about that part. It's been
Yeah.
years, man.
Yeah, going between the low, medium, and hard points or whatever they're called, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that they don't incentivize more people playing that game loop, and this ship definitely won't do that because too many people just want credits per hour, and that's
Yeah.
that's why
Well,
they'll
it's
be
just a
mining.
market force, though. I mean, they literally could just they know they can twist knobs. I mean, turn up the knobs on void opals again. What are the other monazite and serendibite and void opals?
Yes.
Those are the three that you can only get from cores. There you
Yep.
go. Just rock those up, and then those are the three. I think those are the three ring types: rocky, metallic, and ice.
Yeah, but we know they don't play their own game, so
I don't need them to play it. I need them to bring back the high buyer. Anyway, whatever. They're not gonna. It's
So
fine.
no.
VR
These are
VR
people who did not take economics. So I mean,
to the degree that people use this game loop for PowerPlay, one thing I was
Mhm.
going to mention, VR 24/7 in our Discord mentioned that this could actually, in some ways, be a deterrent to one-ton mining. And he said that because now that the rate that you can do this mining with the T11 and use it towards PowerPlay, it's about 60% as good as one-ton mining, is what he said. So that might be enough to, I don't know, people that would balance a little more fun over just mindlessly doing, macros on a transfer of, hauling. Maybe this starts to be a deterrent to that kind of activity. That was his thoughts anyway.
60% as
Yeah.
good is 40% worse.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
before it was a lot less than 60%. There was nothing that even came close. So,
But I don't see the type of person who would spend their time or their computer's time macroing out 1 ton at a time off of a Panther clipper is not going to look at taking a 40% hit to their profits
Yeah, winning is
to
all that
have more
matters.
fun.
Yeah.
They have already
It's probably a
decided
pretty,
that fun is meaningless, right?
there's a pretty small slice of the Venn diagram there. I agree that.
Yeah, they've
but how many
already
merits
got
did
a
they?
they've already got a second commander and a second computer, or they're having
yeah.
this happen when they're not playing their computer. You know what I mean? Like they're not. This is not an influential. That's my prediction, I guess I should say, my inference.
Are there enough of them to move the needle? I mean, I'm just astounded at the amount of free time people appear to have, or their macros,
Yeah, their macros
are able to take care for them. Because like, I don't even know how to write a macro. I just like get on. I like to shoot spaceships. I like to shoot rocks. I like to fly around and do shit.
Mhm.
And it's like I actually play the game to play the game. And it's like and I get the whole min-maxing concept. One of my best friends, we played D&D and all that back in the day, and like he's an engineer, and he's like the ultimate min-maxer, where it's like, he puts so much analysis into it. And when we're building ships, we're min-maxing to some degree or another. Sometimes we'll do something goofy versus not, but and there's an art to building ships, and then you've got like someone like Lark who's like, I'm gonna fuck the meta, and we've got our friend Scotty, and
It's a different art.
yeah, who killed a Medusa like within less than a week since the ship was released. So people are like, I want to have fun and do some different stuff, but there's a certain completionist attitude that some people have when it comes to certain things in video games and stuff like that. And, when it bumps into, the game economy, it can be really frustrating. Yeah. And I want everyone to have fun and to have their fun.
Some people, that's their fun though, is winning, finding the most
It's
efficient
yeah.
way to do something.
Right,
Yeah.
seeing the number on the scoreboard, and taking over this system for their power. Okay, I kind of feel like there's a they're really fighting over that. When I see millions of merits
Yep.
in a week,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
no, you weren't even caring about what system that went into, or if you did, it was an afterthought. You know, it was of little consequence next to seeing that top 10, your name show up there. But that there's always that in this game, especially, and even across, like if I look at the PowerPlay list for Liang Ri, when I see those 10 names, there's a massive spread. The difference, I made a mental note of this the last time I looked. The difference between the number 1 player and the number 10 player was the number 10 player's score. It was like 750. They were all absurd, right? But it was like something in the range of like 750,000 to like there again, like what 1,600, or you know what I mean? That's the gap. So like the difference between the number 1 and the number 10 is the same essentially as the difference between the number 10 and the number million, like the last place person who put up 1 merit. Am I being I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but it's like this like if you were to bar graph it, you know what I mean? You talk about the
you're saying
1%
that
of the
top
1%.
10 guys, the top 10 guys are doing so much more than the rest of everybody else. It's not some bell curve. It's a very
right. And we don't get to, it's not like everybody is in the millions and the top 10 people are separated by a couple of hundred. The top 10 is separated by the entirety of everyone else's score. Right. And likewise was happening when I was looking at like Inara on the CG. This was one of the this wasn't one of the now ones, but it was like some hauling CG or something. Or I don't even remember which one it was, but it didn't matter. But the difference between top 10% and top 10 was way, way more than the difference between top 10% and 0%. Right. Once again, we have like at most dozens of commanders that are putting up 99% of the entire score of the CG, essentially.
genuine tryhards.
By absolutely insane numbers. And this probably doesn't happen with every CG, probably depends a lot, right?
Did it always happen? Because now they got all these CGs where you just put 1 ton in and you're done. You know, you get the thing.
But that would contribute to this even more, wouldn't it? Because now we just have massive population at the very bottom. And so the curve gets even more parabolic, right? Not that it needed to, because just piling in a bunch of people with 1 ton doesn't change the difference between 10% and top 10. But, you know, it's not helping. This isn't really a problem, but it's like just something that kind of amazed me when I saw the literally the hard numbers, at least for Liang Ri, was like, they're one of them 7. Yeah. So it was like 15, 1.5 million or so versus 750,000.
But I mean, that's also why I don't think this ship will impact that at all. Those top 10%, they're not going to be like, oh, I can actually play the game rather than do this. No, their game is doing that. Where this ship comes in beautifully, in my opinion, is like going exploring with your carrier, because now you can actually mine tritium efficiently, by yourself. You can actually
tritium is subsurface, right?
No, it's surface. It's like laser mining.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, this strikes me as mistakes. And I know this, like, this isn't what you want to hear if you're out there with your carrier. You're telling me, like, shut the hell up, asshole. Like, I need tritium. But like, isn't it such a waste that they're like, oh, look, we finally put in something meaningful for subsurface, which was sort of a forgotten stepchild of the whole core mining update. And but it's available in a much easier way, and you'll never do it with subsurface, because why would you, right? It's like that bums me out. Like, that shouldn't have been the answer, right? That was the easy way out. It brings me back to the plant gun. They have they launch it with this sort of reflex based mini game, and that's an inappropriate place to put a reflex-based minigame because that's not the kind of thing that the sort of person who goes out doing that kind of
mode.
exploring
It's like
wants
mode
to do. Right,
switching. Yeah.
right. But their answer to that was delete it. It wasn't adjust it. It was, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking in my head, oh great, they'll take the reflex out of it and it'll be a little bit closer to, you know, lock picking in Skyrim or something.
A lock picking mechanism would be cool.
Turn it and click when you've lined it up. Like give it something to do. Like just it's an activity. It doesn't have to be difficult. Or it doesn't have to be twitchy, and it doesn't have to punish you by backing you all the way out of all 3 rings if you miss it. You know, that doesn't make lore sense. It's not fun. It was the wrong thing to put in there. But like, do you remember on some stream, I don't know if it was a stream or if it was somebody talking somewhere else, but it was like, oh, I was one of the people who worked on the plant scanning mini game. Ha ha ha, you know, poor me. It's like, yeah, poor you, man, because that was like, it looks cool. The adjustment it would have needed to become reasonable, I
if it was
think,
something
was
like
subtle.
focusing a camera, focusing a lens or something,
Yeah,
like that kind of mechanic would have been
the way
lore appropriate.
I love the way it doesn't look like real life, like DNA scans is the wrong word, but you know, like a DNA profile in the real world, but it's reminiscent of it, right? The way the different, it's like close together lines versus spread apart lines and stuff like that. There's room for that to slide them back and forth until they line up, kind of thing. I think they're on track with something, but they just ditched it.
They left the aesthetic there, though. They left it looking exactly the same. They just took any player control out of it. You just
deleted the game.
It was dumb. Yeah,
it's unnecessary, and I mean, sure, I guess it would have been a little more work, but what a bummer, right? And so I feel like that same mindset is coming into this. It went into subsurface mining when it was like, oh, tritium, it's going to bring back subsurface mining and make it valuable. But no, we just it's too hard to get, so we're gonna, you know.
See, I don't know. I'm going to give one last shot at winning you over on the idea of this ship not doing that because, as I said, this ship, you used to be like, I'm going to go mining and you choose laser mining or core mining. You know, you'd have to choose one of the two. Now you just hop into your mining ship and go mining. You don't have to, you know, have multiple ships. You don't have to tweak anything. You can have this ship just ready to do any of that, so then you can just hop on and go do what you want to do. And as far as like tritium,
is it really
trying to get subsurface, what's that?
Is it really true that I couldn't do that in a Python 2? Like I have an abrasion blaster, subsurface missile, and the seismic charge. So there's 3, and then I still have, and then I have 2. You have your pulse waves on a utility point. I have 2 more spots left over for lasers. I'm outfitted for all 3 in a Python 1.
And literally at the end of the day, but that's me mining. I'm always armed mining because of those pirates at the beginning. I love to kill some pirates before I start mining. You know, they come up to try to bully me. There's no way you could have any weapon of that would be able to do
my crate that did that had no
I mean, and I wouldn't do a Python Mark II because you don't have enough cargo capacity. I mean, like a Corsair.
I meant a Mark 1, but I was thinking back when I was mining last, it was a Python Mark 1. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you only have 5 hard points, but you could do
it'd be a Corsair now for sure.
Corsair now for sure, yeah, and that would be a very able do it all kind of ship for mining.
Yeah, but your
lasers might be a little
bring any regular guns.
Yeah,
you'd be all mining equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that, and then back to the tritium thing, just real quick too. Where I think they messed up on the whole tritium thing from the beginning is that should have been mineable and sold by players only. It would have tested the market for an entire player-based market, and that would have been a great testing ground for that, and would have been like this one commodity that, you know, only players could provide for each other. I always hate that you can buy that at stations.
It came in with the update that allowed player commodities trade
exactly.
Markets.
Yeah,
it would have been so elegant.
Served up on a platter to themselves.
Now it would have to be more plentiful too. That's like the only thing with it, as a commodity.
Yeah, I think with this new ship.
I think that's a knob that you can turn though. Like you could just make subsurface. Subsurface needs to produce more chunks.
Yeah.
and it would become
Yeah.
viable. Core mining, the minerals that you pull, the void opals need to be worth more. They need to adjust the market back up to closer to where it was. Maybe not all the way, but closer to. Those two changes, right? And yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It would have been so, we would have been so powerful, right? Or we would have felt so powerful. Now we're just like, who cares? It's the only time you do that is if that's the only option.
Yeah,
Ugh.
100%. Missed opportunities. They've had plenty. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But like I said, I think the tritium would have to have the same, your ability to get it mining would have to be at the same frequency as like when we do platinum mining. Because right now with tritium mining, there's such scarcity that it's like hours and hours and hours.
Fix that? Let me fix that before you stop.
Turn the lever.
Just takes less tritium for each jump.
Well, yeah,
you could have the same amount of tritium out there and turn that lever
change the
instead.
sync.
Instead of 50 or 100 tritium for a jump, it takes 8 tritium for a jump, and boom, there you go. There's the perfect amount in all the rings right now. So
good point. Good point.
You could combine that with turning up the knob on subsurface a little bit, because I think it's a little lax.
Definitely do that. But
I just want to encourage.
You wouldn't necessarily need to do that, because think of the price that you could be selling that for. That's where you'd have to get into is see, if the player base can only mine so much, that price goes up, supply and demand. Then if all of a sudden, everybody's selling it, then the price would go down because more people are selling it. It would work itself out.
No, you're right. I was thinking, I was still on my perspective of I want them to encourage the things that are more active and not discourage, but just encourage the things that are more active and less passive. And the more passive things can just not be quite as profitable and work fine. So if you want to watch a movie, do it.
Encouraging people to do on foot stuff because you could undermine so well by going on foot, and then they get rid of stuff
and then we can't have nice things. And
we can't have nice things. This game.
Dang.
TFG.
Have we done an episode since the latest update? Because I'm not actually in total memory of when these updates. There was a little patch like yesterday, right?
Yeah, there was a little patch yesterday. Yeah, the little patch yesterday. They fixed. There was an issue with the new hollow paint job or whatever the hell it is that they released with the T11 Galactic Edition.
Oh my God! Nobody cares. No,
and but it was causing crashes. So like when people were like trying to switch shifts and things like that, it was kind of, busted. And then they did a couple other things affecting new player onboarding. So they made little tweaks to, if there's new players coming out to start playing the game, that some of the stuff for their orientation works a little bit better.
And I think that they put out a shout out to like content creators and stuff looking for help for onboarding. I do like the sound of that. It sounds like they're really trying to figure out how to help new players.
Yeah, and
just
the Twitter,
our Discord, send them our way. We'll get them on the right track.
Yeah, and our on the Twitter, there was like a huge number of Elite Dangerous promoted mentions of various and sundry of their partners. With a lot of these onboarding. Yeah, so Elite Dangerous is go to this Discord, go to this Twitch streamers stream, and watch this video produced by these people and stuff like that.
I think that's a big part of the Vanguard's updates point. The point of the Vanguard's update was new, and I mean they basically said so, but I sort of almost thinking of it sort of negatively at first, like they're basically trying to ask us to do their job, get people to play our game, please. Teach them and make them stay. But the more you think about it, and they're doing things like this too, which is very good. But the more you think about it, then I turn around and say it's like they don't even play their own game. Like obviously we're probably the better choice for who should work hard to onboard new people.
Help us explain the game we don't understand. I mean, it's don't make us do your work.
That's pretty self-aware if that's what they're doing.
Them into the game a little bit.
Yeah, get good, FDev. Get good.
Get good.
Teach them how to play. Yeah, not a bad idea.
We should just all their calls for this. there's this poor guy in a Type 11 who cannot get in the mail slot with all the NPCs that are just, you know how when a bunch of stuff's going on in a system, the mail slot gets all clogged up. This guy's been trying to navigate around this particular dolphin for ages. Oh, it's an orca. Never mind.
Yeah. So speaking of like trying to recruit and onboard new players, there's a commander on the Facebook who said, looking for a squadron or wing. I've got 2,500 hours and recently started doing Odyssey stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So, me being the good citizen of our Discord said, come to our Discord. We're mostly American, but have a Kiwi and a few Brits in our squadron. And then this wonderful gentleman, not the person posting it, but some guy had to comment. He's like, only if you convince whoever it is on the podcast to stop with the Dick Van Dyke attempts at an English accent. LOL.
That
was awesome.
The thought that had crossed my mind to try to get him to stop doing that, but not anymore.
No. I mean, he had the LOL. I mean, he was kind of like abused, but it was just like, we're trying to bring people to our Discord. This guy's like, dude, as long as Daxy's around, no.
Well, Daxy has been on this home improvement project for years, so it's safe right now, everybody.
That's true. Yeah, you're all safe. That's true. You're safe from his wild stuff because apparently he's decided to skim coat every wall in his house and take a month and a half off from work to do it or something like that. It's sounding
playing
wild.
Bagpipes between rooms. I don't know what he's doing. All I know is you're safe on our Discord because we have no problem timeouting him on a regular basis. So
yes, I have timed out him a lot when he gets uppity.
AFK himself. So I mean, we don't even need Tiff. Yes. Love you, Daxy.
Yeah. Bloomingman loves you, Daxy.
So the last word on the Type 11 review, I don't own it, but I'm in favor of power creep so far. So that's as much as you're getting out of me. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm in love with the ship. I absolutely adore the ship. It just makes me happy to fly. And I don't have it perfectly fine-tuned the way I want it, but I'm getting close. And I can tell you those non-Euclidean cargo racks to expand the, it's like I'm going to have, by the time I have it all settled, I think I'm going to have about 328 tons of cargo space on a medium ship. So it's got more cargo space than my T10. But it's because of that. It's because of that insane module, the limpet controller. Now, someone would say, how can you get that much limpet controller in that small a space? And I was
to that we say, shut up.
Well, no, I mean, it's no. The issue is that, I mean, it's not limpets. It's limpet controller. So it's a computer.
Yeah, the limpets in the cargo rack.
Basically, it's like, okay, I'm taking out my 380 GPU and a 3080 GPU, and I'm putting a 5080 GPU in, or whatever the newest latest. I mean, that's what it is. It's the same size thing in the same size slot, but it's like, okay, this
uses
thing
more power,
11.
makes more heat, does better.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of my headcanon on how could you have something that runs that many limpets? Well, Lacon's been up to something the last few weeks. So,
right.
But it's my happy space right now. So I might fill my damn fleet carrier up with platinum.
If you want to go farm HGEs, this would be the limpet controller to do it. Hoover up all those beautiful,
There's a game loop that didn't need to be turned. It takes about 75 seconds to do one of those with the multi-limpet controller that isn't even specialized that I have now.
It's going to be a nanosecond.
It's going to be over with.
Yep.
It'd be great.
You send just one limpet out and be like, you know what? You just do this one by yourself, bud.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat a sandwich. Oh, didn't have time for my sandwich. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in? Clearly, everybody loved it. I was basically kidding anyway, but
all of the new ships. Here's what I have to say about all the new ships. Okay. I have bought all of them with arcs except one, the Cobra 5, and that's my favorite of all of the new ships. So when this one came out, I wasn't going to buy this one, but then finally it's like, well, I did buy the Cobra 5, then it ended up being my favorite, so I have to get this one now. And then I got it, and this is it's an impressive piece of machinery, especially if you like mining. And I've always enjoyed mining, so yeah, A+.
Nice.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not just about the numbers. It's just fun to fly, and like I said, it puts a smile on my face, and gives me good callback to memories, and it's just fun. So, yeah,
excellent. All right, I will when it's out of early access, I will go have fun mining for a little while again, and I will blow up rocks. And
mind
who
you, I didn't
knows
spend
if
any
it'll matter.
cash. I had the arcs, so from before leftovers from the last time I bought arcs.
I took 3 hours trying to figure out how to buy arcs, and I did.
How is that
I just
so
couldn't
hard?
find them in the Steam
Well,
store.
I was about to say, do you not
Well,
have it on Steam? Because
I have
Steam
it on.
is
No, I have it on Steam. I just couldn't find the damn arcs in the Steam store.
so you can buy them within the game too.
In this,
Like
if I have it open to Steam or something, like
No, if you're in the game and you go to the menu,
buy arcs.
there's a buy arcs and it will just open the browser for you.
Yeah, it goes
You
to a
don't have to
webpage.
buy them through
Yeah.
Steam.
Yeah, but
Steam is an intermediary if you do. So I guess it's really only a matter like if you want to use your Steam wallet or something.
my whole thing
that's
was
how
that
to
it
do
wasn't letting me. It was whatever. This was like a year or two ago. That's why I downloaded Steam and did all that. Was because
now we're
yeah. And so it's like
And,
so,
and
so I
that's
buy
no
arcs
longer
like
a problem for what I know.
yeah. So I buy arcs once a year. So now it's just like where the hell in Steam is it that I buy the arcs? And after like I figured it out. I
Okay.
because I have the ship. So I figured it out. But it just took me a
You
little bit.
figured it out. Yeah.
And see,
I
that's
think
when I went to buy arcs the last time. I had that problem like 2 or 3 years ago where I couldn't buy arcs
it's
through
like a
FDev. So I had to do the Steam wallet thing, and it was fucking annoying. And then it had been so long since I hadn't done that I'm like, God, how do I do that? Let me just see if FDev works now. And I've been able to buy straight from FDev since. So
okay. That's good. Steam allows you to fund the transaction with PayPal, which probably also would smooth over international / who knows what kind of stuff. I'm happen to have some some of my fun money that sits around waiting to be used on stuff like this happens to sit in PayPal, so I have bought through Steam a few times that way. For that reason, I should say, since their own store doesn't have PayPal as an option. But anyway, blah blah blah. Sounds like problems are gone, and I'm looking over at my notes now. There's nothing else in it. Great job, everybody.
We do have a
Great
little
job.
dev news we didn't cover.
Oh, really? I skipped.
Yeah, so we are now up to 0.063% of the known galaxy is now known.
Wow.
So that's 261 million stars.
Almost 2/3 of 1/10%.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah. Strong work. And then there's a sale in the Elite Dangerous game store. There's thanks to Wintermute, we didn't realize because we're never trolling the game store. Wintermute pointed out that there was a rookie cosmetic starter bundle. So you could get 3 paint jobs and a ship kit for your Cobra Mark III for free. And then you can put it in your ship museum at Lambda Andromeda. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff for sale, including a lot of paint jobs for the new ships. So if you're looking to, not spend a lot of arcs and get a few other paint jobs or things like that, a lot of stuff is discounted. So we don't receive royalties. We don't get kickbacks. We're not even members of any sort of anything from Elite Dangerous. But yeah, we would. We're a bunch of whores. So,
see
please.
that partner program,
if you are
they got
listening,
one of each of the Type
Wait, what?
11s.
Yeah.
That partner program, people got one of each of the Type 11s.
Why is that? Why not just give them the galactic? Like it's meaningless.
Yeah,
bugs.
Just
the
fucking
galactic
bonkers.
includes everything.
Is it because the
Yeah.
game's so buggy that they're like looking for the bugs? I mean, that
Oh,
might be why
maybe.
they were given all 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I
like
don't know.
if you like put a certain paint
QA,
job that comes
yeah.
with the second ship, or if you like maybe in the Stellar Edition, if you do something, you lose all your hard points. It's Elite Dangerous, so it's a weird shit happens. So they gave all 3
But
of them.
they'd
To
find-
make it,
But they'd find that out when it's in
Yeah,
live game.
then they could
gave 'em
delay it a
in the
week.
live game.
That's interesting. This is the live game though that we're talking about. Like this isn't
Yeah.
the test server.
This wasn't the test server they got one of each. This was in the live game they got.
Yeah.
I don't
One
know.
of each.
Like I said, these guys don't know how to run an economy. So
It's just the Galactic contains everything that's in the other
Exactly.
packs, so it's literally not
Yeah, it's
anything.
not different stuff.
This is a situation that no one would ever be in, right? You would never. I mean,
Well, 3-0
unless
rebuy hulls, I guess.
yeah, and be able
Yeah.
to
For a mining
spawn
ship that you
3
need 3.
ships. You'd be able to
Yeah, I
spawn
don't know,
3
man.
ships at any location, I guess.
I don't know.
If you had all the money, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter, but great, okay.
I don't know why you'd have 3 T11s. I mean, I might now, although I am inspired to build a HGE farmer.
Just fly the normal one.
Just like yeah, it's already a specialized HGE farmer, dude. It's got the best collector.
Another one.
All my ships are moving to a ship museum in Lambda Andromeda. So like all my
Okay.
old ships. So I want to have more ships.
That's fine. Well, we can lay this out. The ultimate HGE miner would obviously be type 11, but you have to strip it down because we have to be able to get everywhere with minimal fuel. You don't need any cargo space.
Just
so
for
you
the
could
limpets.
just
No, for the limpets, you do.
okay.
Yeah.
You need what do you need? 4 cargo space.
14.
These are limpets that don't
limpets.
die and are super fast, right? So you need 4 of them or something. Well, let's
no,
generously
every time
say
you jump
12.
into Super
Every time you
Cruise,
jump in, you have new ones.
they
there's
destroy.
that.
So you need
Yeah.
multiples of 14. You need 28, 42, 56.
Okay, well, but then how do you need how many?
You need a fuel
14.
scoop. You need a 5H.
you want the whole
You need a
blossom to go
5H
out.
Guardian hyperdrive.
Yeah.
and then you need a bunch
You need a
of.
prismatic shield because of course you fucking do.
I don't need a prismatic. I don't even have one. I've never had a prismatic shield. I played this game for 5 years. So I haven't played. So
I love the prismatic shield. Just
Oh,
I
my
know, I'm
friend
hoping
from
to
Archon
work.
Delaine is back. He's gonna
Oh,
bump
no.
me again.
bump him back, boop him. Oh my god! HGE ship. What the fuck is wrong with?
Yeah.
Why did
All
I
right.
even bring that up? Oh my god!
That's very great. Okay.
Yep.
You know what ship is actually the best for, well, maybe not now that the T11 is out, but previously the best ship for HGE mining. Anyone want to guess?
The Asp Scout.
It is the
0
Asp
days.
Scout.
Now, why is that?
Because it has the fastest pitch rate in Super Cruise. Because you have to do the loop. This is back when you had to do the menu.
yeah. to do the
They've
loop.
just been around. Yeah. But I was about to say, Mandalay
anymore.
begs to differ. And you don't have to do those things in Super Cruise
Well,
anymore.
that's all changed now. Yes.
That's why I was
That's
saying, like,
back
how
in the
many
day.
times do you have to go to Super Cruise now? Because you only need, like, at a maximum, you'll only ever need like 6 HGEs because 1 for each type. You just go to the correct system. Is assuming well, there's a few that you could
If you
get
can find
unlucky
them.
with, right? Because there's overlapping BGS states sometimes. So
But you
there's
just
a
got to
couple
find the
that
right.
you sometimes have to try more than one location, but you wouldn't fire your limpets if
Yeah,
you got
you
to
wouldn't
one that
waste the
you'd
limpets.
already done,
Yeah.
right? So anyway.
And I just got, like, last time I filled everything up, I just found 2 systems with, the one had the 2 different protos, and then the other one was an Imperial shielding, and then a mat trader system. So it was just do the quick loop, trade everything, do the quick loop, trade everything. So,
I had really good luck the last time. The last time I did this was literally when the mining change happened, just so I was sort of testing it out. But I had really good luck doing it sort of quote unquote correctly, like actually just finding the correct BGS, find the outbreaks system, find a system in war, find an Imperial system without another BGS state, a Fed system without another BGS state. And there's
did that
another
all
one
in game through the galaxy map. That's impressive.
I think so. Like it's actually
really?
isn't BGS states aren't that bad in game. The things that are super hard to the things that don't show up correctly in the galaxy map are like the services. What's the fuck? Like a mat trader or inter where you pay off your bounties, interstellar factor. Those, I think they have to be systems that you have personally visited or something like that in order for the galaxy map to reflect what's actually there, even if you have access to the data. So you got to go out to Inara for that crap, because you'll filter, show me an interstellar factor, and half the time you'll see the orange dot, zoom in, and nope, it's wrong. Or maybe it's like a planetary port, but there's 60 in this system, and how do I figure out which one? You know what I mean? Or I go to Inara because I don't see any, and I find that there's like 3 within one jump of me, and it just didn't show them to me. So that's all bullshit. But as far as system BGS states, which is the BGS states and superpower, which are the 2 things that you need to cross-reference to find the correct high-grade emissions, that all shows up correctly all the time in Galaxy Map.
Really,
so
you
I
don't end
never
up
have
with
trouble.
overlapping and stuff. And okay.
I mean, so there's a couple of them that overlap. Oh, HGE school at the end of this episode. There's a couple of them that overlap, right? Like being federal will be overridden by some of the other things, but usually those other things are the harder to find ones anyway. Being at war matters, but that one overrides other things. Outbreak is tough.
Is that the rarest?
Yeah.
Outbreak is pretty rare, and what sucks about it is that I can't remember. Hopefully it isn't the superpower one, but like a war will override it as far as the HGEs are concerned, right? So you have to basically search and then say like, so I find an outbreak system, you zoom in on it at the Gal map and then switch to system map, and then you can look at the factions. Are any of them at war? Yes? Okay, find a different outbreak. Right. But it wasn't that hard. And I was able to go to the correct ones and bam, got them all full. And then you're only missing the focus crystals and the biotech conductors, which are mission only. So I guess you
get
could
those
still
with
trade for
missions.
those if you want. Yeah.
But you can do missions, assassination missions. You'll get a ton.
Yeah.
So
I mean, mission only, but those have been buffed as well. Those missions, so they're not hard to find if you want to do them as missions. And then since PowerPlay came out, that was largely what I was doing. So if you're getting regular care packages, I'm always, when I need to trade, it's to trade down because my care packages won't have filled me too much on some of the lower stuff. So I don't mean trade down. I mean trade so that my bins aren't all full. Like if I end up with a full bin, and then occasionally a new ship comes out and I build a bunch of versions of it or screw around and build some modules, it's never enough to make a significant dent in any of my ship materials anymore.
Yeah. So just so you guys are aware, there's edgalaxy.net, and they have an HGE finder. So when you're trying to find systems with high-grade emissions, you can click on that, and then you can either go with all or you can pick your whatever one you're looking for. So let's do pharmaceutical isolators. So right now in one of the coal sector systems, there is one signal with pharmaceutical isolators it's 5 hours old. Huh. Now let's pick a different thing.
But that's reports of when people have seen them, though.
Yes, but it's pretty helpful.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No. I'm not trying to say that it's wrong. HGEs are per player. So this thing saying there's one there, like there isn't one there that you could find. It's just saying a player found one there.
Yeah.
And really in my, I mean, I don't know.
But these are not reported. This isn't like Waze, and you're using Waze to get from point A to point B, and you see a cop and you say, hey, there's a cop over there. Now this is more like your EDDN is
it reported it when you're
it reported it, and
when
so
your system scan saw it.
Yeah, and when they're spawning, like if it's like a week old, it's useless. But like 5 hours old, if it's before the tick, there's a possibility you'll find it. So let's go to Imperial Shielding.
Are they instance specific even if you're in a wing?
Yes.
Would you see?
You do not see the same signals as your wingmates. But that's the thing. Like I think that what would be useful about a thing like this is if you didn't want to go through the trouble of what I was describing, filtering the galaxy map and knowing which state goes with which thing. Like that's a bit of game knowledge, or you go to the game wiki to refresh your memory or something.
Yeah.
That's what this could be used for, because it's like just skip all that. Pharmaceutical isolators, it's going to point you to a system that is currently in outbreak, right? And you know it, and you know you've gotten it right. So that's fine. But like, I don't think there's any trouble finding HGs. Like if it's a populated system,
No.
there's like always one or two these days.
Yeah.
I've never seen a system
Yeah.
like not have one. When
I mean,
scroll through
honestly,
the
ever
list.
since SCO Overcharge came out, I go after them opportunistically sometimes. I'll just
sure.
going through a system, go get it. Not farming it, just there's one, go get it. Every once in a while.
Yeah, I had to fill up, but like, I mean, the nice thing about proto, the proto, the proto radiolic whatevers is, if you're in a high tech system in a boom state, like they're there. So
they're always
like,
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like we have more high tech, like comma. I just go to comma. I can get proto radiolic alloy in my sleep. So
okay, I'm going to the wiki because since we talked about the rest of this. Okay, the actual breakdown. Federal systems can contain core dynamics, composites, and proprietary composites, which is just a grade 4 and 5 of the same category. Imperial systems have imperial shielding in theirs. This is only if those don't have some other state. So you'd look for systems that have none for state. Like if it has boom or something like that, it'll get overridden. Boom or war or outbreak. Civil unrest will have improvised components. Which isn't useful for many of the recipes I know of, but it's a bin to fill up. War or Civil War does military grade alloys and military supercapacitors. So that's one where you might have to try a couple. Like if you keep getting all of military alloys and you can't find the superconductors, you may have to bounce around a little bit and try different
improvised
ones.
components, that's used in one recipe, reinforced shield generator. So
I made a reinforced shield generator exactly one time. It was the first time I tried to fight Thargoids, and on bad advice, I brought a shield.
Nice work.
And you don't do fast charge because you need the blah, blah, blah. Anyway, stupid. Outbreak finds pharmaceutical isolators, and then boom or expansion. That's the proto category. So proto heat, proto light alloys, and proto radialic alloys. And those last two are a grade 4 and 5 in the same category too. So yes, so it's basically any of the BGS states will tend to override the superpower state. So if you want the core dynamics, proprietary composites, or imperial shielding, you got to find those that don't have some other state, which isn't that hard to find. Especially the BGS is broken, so states don't even happen half the time. Yay!
Yeah, and when you're locking onto an HGE, it'll kind of tell you what you're expecting, and it'll say this faction and civil war, or it'll say
that's right. Yeah,
and that kind of sometimes tips you off on what you can expect to find in systems where there's a mix.
Yeah, because each HGE will be owned by a faction, and if it's the one that's at war, then you will get the military whatever.
Yeah,
and if it's not, you have a chance of getting the other thing, I guess.
Yeah, because
most of the time they will just be the system at war. But
but there have been times I've gotten different things from the same system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because if it's a war state, like I said, it will tend to override because you're expecting. Well, whatever. I shouldn't say you're. It could go either way. If a faction that's not at war happens to be the owner of an HGE that pops up, then you would get the non-stated version.
Right. So if you're the controlling factions in Boom, and then there are two minor factions in Civil War, you'll lock onto the HGE, and if it's a Civil War HGE, then it's going to spawn one thing, and if it's the controlling faction in Boom, you're going to get something else.
Yeah.
When I've done it and I picked up things in the same space.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Yes. Okay, this is great. Look at that. We squeezed in nerd crap at the end too. So love it. All right.
Well done.
Hey everybody. Glad to be back. I missed Space Chats with Friends, and you got to be here when I did it. And thanks for listening, and thanks for being on a podcast with me, everybody here. I don't mean to phrase that as a question. I meant it. Thank you, Chig and Blooming Wind and Roy's technical specialist robot.
We need to bring the Tef bot back.
No, we do not.
Yes, more fart sounds.
No. That is a no. All right. Anything else? Anything?
That's it, man.
Bueller? That's it?
That's it.
Are you sure?
That's
Right?
it.
Are you sure?
That's it.
No. Okay, good.
Because you
I'm
got
tired.
something else you want to
Right.
say? Are you trying
No.
to catch me out and forgetting something?
No.
Are we
No.
trying to drag it out so we get exactly 2 hours?
Is that what we're
How
working
long
on
have
right
we
now?
been?
Well, we started at
We're at least 6 minutes
7:39.
away.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
I never know.
I
if
got
what-
9:38 and 7:39, so it's like 1 minute away. Unless I'm mathing wrong.
7:30. Yeah.
I might just be not correct.
I don't know. I'm just
Wait.
looking at what
Track's
Craig's telling me.
wrong?
No, Craig's never
Well,
wrong.
I'm Jiminy Tricks now.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Oh,
yeah. Jimmy
I should-
Tricks is wrong a lot.
Taking votes. Should I change my in-game commander name to Jiminy Tricks now that I have the option?
Ooh.
Sound off, and we'll reconvene on this on the next episode, I guess. And until then, thanks for listening. If you want to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. If you don't know how to find that link, I don't know, man.
Yeah. It's yeah.
You know, Guardians help you, I guess.
We've determined that when I'm Chig, I know how to fly. When I'm Chug, I don't. So if you ever fight in CQC and you blow me up, I'm probably Chug. If you don't blow me up, I'm Chig. So I have multiple
I love it.
personalities now.
That's it. Say
That's
goodbye,
it.
everybody.
Right,
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.